It is an inspirational story of an Indian immigrant who arrived in the United States at the age of 25 with only $1,000 in cash. His childhood memory was extremely harsh, especially in the financial side. His family bought clothes only once a year. Also, instead of using a color TV, his family used black and white TV to save money. Their style was strictly frugal. John, the owner of Financial Freedom Countdown website, followed his immigration passion and dream for a better life. However, how did he turn $1,000 to a huge wealth of $2.3 million in only 12 years? He arrived in Connecticut with only $1,000 in cash. He didn't even have a credit card. Thus, his first problem was finding proper accommodation because he couldn't find a vacant room without a credit card. So he had to pay at least the rent of 3 months in advance in cash to secure proper accommodation. This, of course, took most of the $1,000 in cash that he had. Also, he couldn't drive, so he relied on his legs as the main or primary means of transportation. In general, he had extremely tough and difficult time to cope with this huge change and challenge. He faced multiple mental, physiological, psychological, emotional, and financial problems and hurdles. Despite his struggles, he started by making a decision. He decided that in 12 months, he must solve all of his most prominent problems. To achieve that, he adopted a strict spending strategy so that his spendings were only at the minimum and limited only to the very important needs. However, that was not the only thing that he did. He resorted to finance and financial management to learn and read and improve himself in the financial side. And that was his way in achieving financial and life goals and objectives in the US. His sincere efforts and struggles paid well. In short time, he got his first job as a software engineer. He saved money, got a credit card, learned driving by joining some driving lessons, and bought his own car. Because he didn't have family in the US, he was extremely professional and passionate about meeting clients' needs and services all around the US. So he had no problems in roaming around and moving anywhere in the US to meet such demands. This gave him decent recommendations from clients, which led him to be promoted and to get salary raises. Despite that, he didn't increase his spendings. He adopted a strict 50% saving strategy, and he continued on that strategy. Within the first 4 years of employment in the US, he got his dream job at Silicon Valley, the most technologically advanced area in the world and one of the most expensive regions globally as well. It is the area where he's still living and working until now. Despite the huge salary and incentives that he got in Silicon Valley, it was difficult to maintain his spendings and his cost reduction strategies. Everything there was extremely expensive, especially accommodation. Thus, one of his first goals was to buy a house, and he did so by buying a house by mortgage of $1 million. However, he didn't pay for the mortgage from his own income. Instead, he built a small extension in his big yard, rented it, and used the money to pay the mortgage. It happened after 18 months of moving to Silicon Valley. One day, his senior vice president told him that her sister was extremely sick. However, instead of trying to get a leave and visit her sister, she delayed that intention because the company had a huge product launch. About 2 weeks later, the vice president received a call stating that her sister died. John couldn't believe the shock. He couldn't believe that some people and employees didn't meet their most important family and life commitments and dedications for the sake of work. Despite that, his vice president earned at least 3 times more than John. He described her as wage slave. Thus, he determined not to sacrifice his family and his personal life for the sake of work. He seriously adopted the financial independence early retirement scheme and motion. Again, John reverted to reading and learning about financial management and finance to achieve his goals of financial independence and early retirement. Therefore, he discovered the FIRE approach, which means financially independent early retirement. And he soon became one of their famous practitioners and believers. FIRE is a philosophy that believes in the importance of financial independence in order to retire early, which can be obtained by minimizing costs and maximizing income, savings, and investments. The scheme is based on two simple and interconnected rules. First, you must decide how much money you should save and collect to reach financial independence. Second, you must know how much you can spend of this wealth after reaching the independence stage. FIRE movement offers plenty of examples, explanations, and electronic calculators to help you work out exactly the requirements of their rules. Actually, John's life and practices were broadly aligned with the FIRE approach even before knowing about them. So he didn't change a lot of things after he knew about FIRE. The only thing that he really changed was the way of investment to be aligned with FIRE approach and to meet the requirements. From the moment he landed in the US, reading and learning about finance and financial management were the keys of success for John's approach and story. His inspirational experience was all about how to obtain money and how to spend and invest that money, which are the two prominent corners and sides of financial management. Within 12 years only, proper understanding and practices of financial management allowed John to turn $1,000 in cash only to a wealth of $3.2 million in cash savings and investment. He reached his early retirement goal in his early 40s. Therefore, John prospered and achieved his life and financial goals. All of you can be like John and reach financial independence and early retirement. However, financial management is the key for that. Therefore, Management with Manis channel is pleased to enhance the society's prosperity and welfare and help you achieve your financial and life goals by providing one of the most recent and important financial management books in the world. We are honored to introduce the 2019 most recent edition of Fundamentals of Financial Management book. It will be our third book and last one in the channel for the second year. Reach your financial and life goals and equip yourself with the required competencies and skills by joining us in our interesting journey with this book. That was our session for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching us. We produce every Thursday, so make sure to stay with your channel Management with Manis, Manage to Prosper. Please make sure to support the channel strongly so we can continue our glorious mission. Kindly subscribe to the channel at YouTube and activate the notifications bell there. Please stay with us, follow us, watch us, and support us. And share the channel and all electronic platforms at YouTube, electronic website, MANWIM.com, email viewers at MANWIM.com, and our Facebook and Instagram pages. Thank you so much for watching us. See you next Thursday, and goodbye.